coming up on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
We go dancing with Coach Matheny and get schooled with a lesson from Elon's volleyball team.
Plus, we look at two tennis stars putting Elon on the map and the all-time leading scorer on the soccer pitch.
All that and more next on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Elon Phoenix Weekly. I'm Scarlett Fakar.
And I'm Derek Scully. Thanks for joining us on your ESPN2 Local Sports Break. Athletes make themselves known for the goals they score, the clutch shots they hit, and the championships they win. But Elon athletes do more than that.
They try to help those less fortunate in the community.
Elon Athletics is more than just the early morning runs, more than just the squeak of the hardwood floor, and more than just the championship celebrations. It's about the community and what the athletic department can do to help it out.
The sports world in general needs to constantly be aware of how they can be benevolent and be involved in giving back. They're so fortunate to have the opportunities that they receive, particularly anybody that's ever had somebody hold out their hand in a way to try to offer help to a student athlete. And giving back is important. Our student athletes here at Elon work real hard at that. We have a student athlete advisory committee that is representative of each sport in the department. There are 2 representatives from each, and they create different opportunities to involve their programs and all of our athletes in community and charitable events. And they enjoy it. It's not something that they feel like, well, it's assigned to us and we have to do it. They do it because they enjoy it and they understand the value of giving back.
This is a great place to live. And the people that come to our games and support us at football, baseball, basketball games are the people that we see in the local restaurants and in church and throughout this community. We see Elon license tags and t-shirts everywhere in Burlington, Elon, Gibsonville, all over the place. And we can give back too. And one of the great things about Elon is the type of people that are here. And that's never more true than our student athletes.
Coach Matheny recently traded in his coaching shoes for a pair of dancing shoes to help fight breast cancer through the Little Pink Houses of Hope, an organization well known by the athletic department.
When you get into the Little Pink Houses of Hope, cancer and different things, but different kinds of cancer even, all of our programs kind of decide what's a best fit for them. And sometimes it's impactful because somebody in the program has been subjected to that somewhere in their life, someone they know, a loved one, and it carries weight with the team and everybody gets behind that. So from year to year things change, but I think the Little Pink Houses of Hope is something that our whole department just kind of embraced.
Individually, players such as senior linebacker Blake Thompson have received acknowledgement for their work in the community, but in the end, it's all about helping the less fortunate.
But most importantly, they're generally involved with someone that's underprivileged. It could be someone that's sick. It could be someone that is just underage. And just going to an elementary school and reading, our student athletes enjoy that interaction with people. And they also know who's supporting them and coming to see them play. So they're giving back to try to reciprocate that relationship, and they do an awesome job at it.
For our student athletes to be able to contribute to this community, it means a lot.
One organization that Elon is very close with is the Little Pink Houses of Hope.
And on October 13th, men's basketball coach Matt Matheny stepped out of his comfort zone to help women and their families who are fighting breast cancer. Elon men's basketball coach Matt Matheny can often be found on the court or in the locker room supporting his players, but you wouldn't often expect to find him on a dance floor.
I mean, what am I doing? I'm going to dance in front of people. I've never done anything like that before. But I was asked in the spring by Rhonda Belton, who is a wonderful contributor to this great organization. And I'll tell you, it was a lot easier to say yes in the spring than it is to prepare for what we're getting ready to do in October.
Matheny is competing in Dancing with the Little Pink Stars, a charity event to help families dealing with breast cancer.
I'm not a very good dancer. I've never studied dance. I've never performed like this. It takes me out of my comfort zone. But, you know, I think about what I ask our players to do all the time. And I often ask them in practice and in games to go a little bit out of their comfort zone. But you take it even further, and you think about the families that this organization helps. Little Pink Houses of Hope helps families that have to deal with breast cancer.
Matheny is not the first Elon coach to help raise money for Little Pink Houses of Hope. Football coach Jason Swepson hosted a Pink Out football game last year, and baseball coach Mike Kennedy also competed in the Dancing with the Little Pink Stars competition. Kennedy and his community-minded team are also known for shaving their heads to raise money for the St. Baldrick's Foundation.
I admire what Coach Kennedy's done, not only on the baseball field with his team, but his team is really supportive in this community, and I saw all their guys shave their head last year. I saw Mike dance last year in this organization. He said go for it, and I'll heed his advice.
To learn to dance, Matheny was paired with Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement and Assistant Coach for the Elon dance team, Doris White.
I've got a great coach. Doris is not only talented, but she's patient, thank goodness.
So it's 8, we're looking at each other, and we go opposite, then back.
Okay, I can do that.
It's really funny taking a coach and taking him out of his element and throwing some dance moves at him, and he's done a really great job of just adapting to that, and it's been a good experience getting to know him. We laugh all the time, and when you see him at the court, he's so intense with his team, and to get to meet this personality and this side of him, it's been a real pleasure.
She's trying to teach somebody that's not a very good dancer. So I have sensed that in her. I try her patience.
I think the toughest part is I throw a lot of language at him, and I'm assuming that he knows it.
What does that mean?
I just want you to do 8, 1.
Right here?
Sit. 5. Hold on, go back.
So I just try to do everything she tells me to do.
Matheny and White's practice paid off when they successfully performed their routine for the judges. Coach Matheny and Doris White have raised over $2,000 so far.
And that brings us to today's trivia. Which historic coach led Elon's first women's basketball and volleyball teams?
We've got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we go to the chalkboard to view volleyball strategy.
And later we look at the most prolific men's soccer scorer in Elon history.
As we go to break, take a look at some of this week's games and events.
What is living the maroon life? It's more than just the hustle and the sweat. It's more than just the pain and the frustration. It's more than just the triumph and the glory. The maroon life is you. Yes, you. You, the athlete, striving to be at your best day in and day out. You, the alumni who have been in the stands supporting Elon for years. You, the fans who stream into games hours before kickoff. And you, the little ones who will be the next generation of Phoenix fans. You are what drives Elon Athletics, and you are the reason we do what we do. There is so much history and tradition behind our maroon. Conference titles, All-American, and national championships. But there is so much history and tradition yet to be made. So join us. Live the maroon life.
We'll be right back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2. Phoenix fans, be sure to live the Maroon life and support Elon Athletics by ordering your football season tickets now. Log on to www.elonphoenix.com or call the ticket office at 336-278-6750 to reserve your seats now. You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
And now back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
The Elon Phoenix Weekly is made possible by the students of the School of Communications in association with the dedicated coaches, athletes, and staff of Elon Athletics.
It is time once again for Elon Phoenix Weekly's Chalk Talk. This week we hit up volleyball team captain and defensive specialist Allie Deach and freshman setter Anna Nixick to learn the basics of the volleyball offense and defense.
In this edition of Chalk Talk, freshman center Anna Nixick and senior libero Allie Deach help give us some insights on the inner workings of the Phoenix volleyball team's offense and defense. Let's start with the offensive attack. As setter, Nixick is the quarterback of the offense, and it is her job to make play calls before and during points.
I'm going to give them a call right off a serve receive, and I'll tell them you're going to hit this right now and this on free. During the play, if they're caught in, because it gets really jumbled at points, like if the outside's all the way pulled in, they're not going to be able to get out there for the 4. So they'll be talking to me and calling it 2. So I listen to them and I see where they are and I try and set whatever they call. If someone's passing and they also are hitting, which the outsides do, or sometimes our right side will, you have to make sure that the ball will be high enough or you're giving them a set that they can obviously hit. And same with middles, if they're running from all the way on one side of the court, you probably won't set them to slide because it's just a lot to get there and stuff, and you want to keep the ball as low as possible to where we can beat the block on the other side. I'm really just trying to get isolations, like where there's one blocker or no blockers, and yeah, go from there.
Here you can see the pre-serve play call, as Nixick reads an opening to exploit and calls for a slide attack. Outside hitter Chanel Smith bumps the serve to Nixick, who's already in position at the center of the court. As Nixick prepares to hit, middle blocker Chris Harris makes her move to the outside. Nixick places her set just inside the antenna so that the opponent's middle blocker is taken out of the play, and Harris has the opening she needs down the line for the kill. Now let's take a look at the defensive side of the game with libero Allie Deach.
So there's a couple different defensive schemes that you can play with regard to how the back row sets up behind the block and where the block is supposed to set up with regard to the hitter and the angle of approach of the hitter and whatnot. There's different assignments based on the defensive scheme that you're playing, so a blocker might be responsible for 2 different hitters, and if she can't get there or whatnot, I have to jump into that seam, stuff like that. There's a lot of communication that goes on if, my right side blocker is supposed to be lining up right on that outside hitter's hitting shoulder, and, she leaves me too much space in the wedge to dig, or she leaves too much line to dig, and it's so different because if a set is too far inside, she has to adjust that block and she has to move around with that hitter. There's a lot of reading that goes on. So it's not necessarily that you have to go to a specific spot. There's with each defensive scheme, there's an area that you're responsible for digging, or, a particular spot that you're supposed to read into.
Reaction time is key on defense, as you can see from the shift made when the opposing setter makes her pass. Outside hitter Chanel Smith and middle blocker Celia Eddy go up for the block, while Ali Deach guards the line and the remaining players set up to defend an angled attack. The blockers continue their impressive season and finish off the point before the backs have to get involved.
As volleyball season comes to an end, be sure to support the Phoenix as they begin SoCon tournament play in a few weeks.
Last year, Jordan Johnston and Frida Jansaker made program history by being the first-ranked pair of doubles in Elon history. That recognition led to an invitation to play in one of collegiate tennis's most prolific events, the Riviera ITA Women's All-American Championships in Los Angeles.
It's more than an individual effort for these two tennis standouts. It's teamwork.
You're not only worried about yourself, you have to worry about another person and obviously your teammate. So, you're not only worrying about what you're doing, but you have to think, okay, what are they going to do? Or if I do this, how is this going to affect her? So it's fun because you also have someone who's going through everything you're going through and you can kind of share the emotions.
We're very good friends off the court, but once we step onto a tennis court, it's all business. And I think we have a very professional way with each other. Like, we know that we want to do well for the other person as well. It's not just singles game anymore, it's not just you, it's the other person as well. So we're very professional and we want to perform for the other one.
And together, they accomplished something that most collegiate tennis players have not. They received an invitation to play in the 2012 Riviera ITA Women's All-American Championship in Los Angeles.
It was, words can't even describe. I was just in shock because it's something you think about, it's something I've heard about. I know friends who've gone, and to be a competitor in the tournament, I couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Saw her name there, and it's amazing among all of these great schools, and there's Elon representing also, and that's just a great feeling. We're part of something bigger than ourselves.
Last season, the two earned first team All-League honors in doubles and each earned All-Conference honors in singles.
We have very different game styles. Frida's very aggressive at the net. I'm more of a steady at the baseline, but I think what makes us so successful is we know how each other works. We just set up each other's games really, really well. And plus our mentality together are very match tough.
Last season, the two were ranked number 43 in the nation and finished with a 9-1 record in the Southern Conference.
It's a huge honor, and it was then and it still is now. I've grown up in a tennis family, tennis household. I know who's on that list. I know the type of teams and what it takes to be on that list, and to be recognized was a huge accomplishment for me.
Coming from Sweden, I know Sweden is the population of North Carolina. So this huge country, just getting a ranking was, oh my God, it was so big.
But despite their previous accomplishments, they both know they have to keep their focus and continue to work together to win.
We have each other, and in the end, we just need to stay there and be focused and rely on each other to be successful.
The duo learned from their time on the West Coast and 2 weekends ago made it all the way to the quarterfinals of the ITA Carolina Regional.
And that brings us to today's history.
In this day in Elon sports history, we venture back to 1919. After World War I, football made its comeback at Elon College. The revival of football had been one of the fondest dreams of Elon athletes and sports fans for a number of years, and the Fighting Christians' return to the gridiron in 1919 set stage for some of the greatest moments in school history. This team also proved to be quite special because it had many of Elon's greats, including Lindsey Hap Perry, LB Johnny Johnson, and Johnny E. Smith. However, this motley crew would only play 3 games together, 2 in which they lost. And that's this day in Elon sports history.
to take another break, but coming up, we examine Chris Thomas's career, 44 goals and counting.
And as we go to break, check out more Elon sporting events coming up this week.
Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the Maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies,
but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success, helps sustain the winning tradition of Elon Athletics, while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come. You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2. There are currently over 350 Elon student athletes competing in 16 NCAA Division I sports.
scholarships enable us to succeed not only on the field,
but also in the classroom.
It helps us in achieving our commitment.
To live the Maroon life.
Your gifts have the power to take Phoenix athletics to even greater heights while giving student athletes an outstanding education. You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
Phoenix fans, be sure to live the Maroon life and support Elon Athletics by ordering your football season tickets now. Log on to www.elonphoenix.com or call the ticket office at 336-278-6750 to reserve your seats now. And now back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on your ESPN2 Local Sports Break.
Earlier in the show, we asked, which historic coach led Elon's first women's basketball and volleyball teams? The answer, Kay Yao, who after success at Elon went on to one of the most storied careers in women's basketball history at North Carolina State, totaling over 700 wins between both women's basketball programs.
For nearly a quarter of a century, one name stood out on top of Elon's men's soccer all-time scoring list until this year. Not only does Elon have a new all-time leading scorer, but looks to be well on its way to repeating as Southern Conference champs.
Mike Wessels held Elon Soccer's career goals mark at 43. The key word is held. Then came Chris Thomas, who as a senior broke Wessels' record in Elon's win against West Virginia.
Off a goal kick,
was a scrappy game. The ball was just getting deflected. Ended up coming to Gabe's feet, and 99% of the time I know if I'm making a run, Gabe's going to play it to me, and he did. I was able to chip it over the keeper and tie the game.
Chris took the goal very well. It was a great ball by Gabe Latigue, and Chris got between two very good centre-backs. Was approaching the goalkeeper and flicked it over him, and it was a very, very good goal.
Thomas had 30 goals coming into the season, 10 in each of his first 3, but had 10 goals in his first 7 games this year. He's picked up his play tremendously in his senior season, not just as a scorer, but as a player and teammate overall.
I think Chris this year's had a great approach. His character's been very good, his attitude's been very good. Now he's matured as a good leader, good young man, and he's taking all those little things on board.
He makes a lot of good runs when you're on the field, and he makes it easy for you to find him. And he'll get you those assists, so we look to find him and knowing that he will score the goal.
Thomas has been racking up awards throughout the season, including SoCon Player of the Week, SoCon Player of the Month, and even College Soccer News National Player of the Week. While all of the achievements are nice, his focus is still on the team and their success.
I try not to think about it too much because I hate just thinking about it. If I keep thinking about it going into the next game, it messes up my mindset. I just try and think about what we need to do next for the team. I'm glad that's happening, but I want our team's getting recognized nationally. That's what really means most to me.
Well, of course, we're all excited for him. It's always a good feeling to know that you're around when your teammates breaking records, and that you help him do that as well.
After being named Southern Conference Player of the Year as a sophomore, Thomas came off the bench for a part of his junior season. This greatly motivated him, and it's shown from his play this year.
Last year, Chris was recovering from a knee injury. Was struggling to get himself in proper shape and ready to be game ready. I think early in the year it just helped him, assisted him trying to get better. I think Chris, coaches, everyone around wanted him to improve his game and be ready for the team.
I couldn't tell you how many meetings I had with the coaches about why, because of course I was frustrated. I had many meetings with them, and they called me out for what I needed to do and why I wasn't playing, and I really took a mental note of that during the summer.
I think he refocused his energy in terms of making sure he was healthy and fit, and I think with it being his senior year, wanted to go out in a good fashion. And also he's got aspirations to play maybe after college, and he knows if that's going to be a reality, he's got to do it every single day, every single game, to give himself that opportunity.
This summer, when I found out that I would have an opportunity to play next level, which I really want to do, I decided to step it up.
Thomas has been the fire of the Phoenix this year, as Elon claimed their first national ranking since 2006 earlier in the season. If Thomas and the Phoenix can continue to play at a high level, they'll be tough to stop come Southern Conference tournament time.
Be sure to come out and support Chris Thomas and the men's soccer team as they conclude their regular season schedule at home versus Duke, Tuesday at 7 p.m. and launch into Southern Conference tournament action next weekend.
Well, that is our show for today. If you missed anything or you want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly.
Also be sure to visit elonphoenix.com, your #1 source for all the maroon and gold buzz.
On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you continue to have a spectacular weekend.
For the Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm Scarlett Fakar.
And I'm Derek Skelly. Thanks for watching.